So next, last committee report is landscape, and that's Chris Stotts or Stats? Stats.
If we have already registered, like a couple of years ago, is that still good on the website today?
It's not. When we brought up the new website, it required users to re-register as we couldn't import the data. We brought the new one up May 1st, 2008. There's a little over 300 users registered, and we hesitate to send out frequent emails to the 300, but we did send one out this week with all of the agenda and the meeting.
Should our newsletter be maybe by email instead of saying a lot of messaging that way?
We have considered that as well. The challenge is that we don't have many emails, but yes.
Yeah, the industry has something to speak on that, in that you get a lot more response when it's the old-fashioned paper. Unfortunately, you'd like to save money, but they found readership participation in communities fall off, and that's just the statistics of it. So.
Her question was, should we send out the newsletter electronically? And the response from Mr. Springer down there was that you get better response from paper. The phone number for Puget Sound Security, 425-562-8778. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Any updated or progress on that every month when we talk about the road online and the internet photos instead of having to come in person and those?
We've done nothing with that this past year. I remember the question being on, but we've done nothing with that this past year.
Does that mean it might be looked at next year then?
If we could, the question is doing online or internet voting versus showing in person. Sorry, thank you for holding me accountable.
So does that mean look at this next year?
It would be up to the board. I am an outgoing member. Yes, sir.
My name is Don Dalton. I feel a little guilty for not volunteering to be on some of the different activities and stuff here, but you know, maybe others feel the same way I do. I mean, I'm in a sub-association and very busy there, and yet you never mention our activities in this meeting. So somehow or another, I think you probably should acknowledge that there are a lot of people here that are really involved in all kinds of committees and activities and stuff in the subs.
Our sub-associations are by far the most active constituents to the Lakeland Master Association Board. They're more politically active, they're more engaged in their own sub-associations, and they're by far the most active than the single-family homes in our larger HOA board. There's no doubt.
Kevin Kincaid, President, Verona South. Having that said, it would be nice to reinstate the President's meeting between all communities so we can actually take advantage of some synergy. I know that's going to North.
We did have a President's meeting back in August that we had, or it might have been July of this last year, where I conducted it being the President of the Board of Directors.
I don't think it was the frequency that it has been since 2005. But
well, let me just finish answering. So we did have it in July. We followed up with a follow-up meeting, notified all the presidents. So that was 15 presidents showed up. I believe there's people that were here that were represented. The main question was regarding dues. Well, we had a follow-up meeting in September. After that was resolved, we had 3 presidents show up. So we would be glad to have a president's meeting. The purpose of the president's meeting, when we discussed it with the presidents, would be to have a benchmarking session with the presidents to share their best practices, because we find that our sub-associations, many of them are not run effectively. Some are, some aren't. And the larger board gets impacted by how they all run. And so we have had, as a board, a discussion to have a quarterly, actually we talked it biannually, twice a year meeting with the presidents of the sub-associations to create a forum for those presidents to sit down and share best practices. We don't really have a dog in the fight.
What's the conduit that you use to communicate with sub-associations about the presidents?
We use it through our management company and all the addresses that we have of all the presidents.
That changed last year, so that could probably be default in communication then?
I'm sorry, almost all of our sub-associates were represented at the first meeting. All of them, including secretaries or vice presidents.
Okay, it'd be fantastic to have Verona South included in that communication. Second comment would be, Verona South disagrees with the annual payment for Master Association, and it's difficult enough to have our financial resources managed, especially given the fact it's on a volunteer basis, so we're opposed to that.
I'm sorry, sir.
The annual payment.
Would you mind standing up and maybe so everybody can hear you? You got a great voice, and I don't think anybody might hear it.
Chris, thank you for your comments about the, let's see, my legs are a little. Thank you for the comments about the President's meeting. I'm in Verona South, president there, been on the board there since 2005. Participated in one President's meeting, but would like to participate in more. I think that's part of the problem. Maybe the switch from CDC to Pinnacle could have created a lapse in communication. Looking forward to having that remedy. The second concern that I have is that Verona South is actually opposed to the annual payment that we have for the Lakeland Association, the master dues, given the fact that we have a difficult enough time managing our own financial resources, plus the fact that it's on a volunteer basis. So
that was the actual subject matter of the July meeting. I'm sorry?
What's on a volunteer basis?
I don't know what the volunteer basis is.
Excuse me, what's on a volunteer basis, if I may ask?
My financial committee for my board.
Oh, Verona South.
Participation.
Right.
Okay, kind of sounded like you said that the payment was a voluntary thing.
That was the actual subject matter of the president's meeting that we had. Excuse me, that was the subject matter of the president's meeting that we had. And do you remember what calendar month that was? Kim would recall. I believe it was September, August, September. There's some people in this room that were at that meeting.
And when was that meeting, do you recall?
Maybe September.
Thank you. And at that meeting, at that time, because you're from Verona North, is it? And that was the subject, and all of the, their voice was heard, and the decision was changed and evolved based on the feedback of all those presidents. And that decision stands as it is currently today. Thank you. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I just have a concern with the cameras going up at Sunset Park. Is that going to have those people that do the vandalism from that part into Lakeland? And is there going to be some cameras put in there because we've had all sorts of vandalism in Lakeland?
We will table that for our time with the mayor.
Final question, how do I make sure that my information is given to the people so I can participate in future presidents' meetings?
That'd be Rich, that wonderful guy right there. Another thing.
Okay. Kevin from Verona South. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just a curiosity, if I remember right, when we had agreed to candidates, we had 2 presidents in attendance.
Don't know. I was sick.
Well,
I was there for 10 minutes. I said, hey.
It seemed like kind of an important meeting.
True. I mean, it's one of those things. I agree. Yes, ma'am.
The water dues being due once a month.
Once a year.
Is there a way that maybe when July was normally due that somehow people can do automatic payments like a PSA bill or certain things you can do? Do you know what I'm talking about?
They said that she was asking if there's a way we can handle July differently. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to make a suggestion that if you use an online bill payer, couldn't you in theory just set up a payment to go out automatically every month? I mean,
Once a year.
would there be a problem? Well, if it was easier for you to budget personally, couldn't you set up it to go out once a month and all your money will be in there come January?
You're talking for the individual homeowner. Other questions about the homeowners association?